What's going on, guys? NBA Sunday, 2 games to go over in today's video. Hopefully, guys, get you another whiteboard winner. I have just a little bit of good news before we get into the bad. And I love showing you guys the bad because I believe in transparency. I believe in the right strategy, long-term, doing things the right way and being truthful. It always wins in the end. And I'm always happy, even on my worst days, to come on here and show you guys exactly what happened and how much money I lost. So the good news, cast you guys another whiteboard winning pick. We moved to 12-8 with the Celtics covering in the first half. We cash another on TikTok. Both platforms completely free. Make sure you guys follow me on TikTok. 11-2 now. 11-2 NBA playoff free pick. So go throw me a follow on TikTok. I actually already posted the TikTok for Sunday with a free play and on Sunday's games. Now that we got the good news, and yes, that's the only good news. Let's get into the bad. I'll put the text on the screen like I always do. Absolutely destroyed across the board. Now, here's my angle, and here's why we resulted in such a bad day. One of my worst of the entire 2024 calendar year. I had an angle of that Celtics money line being at such a reasonable price, anywhere from minus 280 to minus like 300 or so. I knew that that was such a good piece, first half and full game. I knew it was such a lock that if I could just find another side, that it's an absolute guarantee to cash at almost plus money if you can just find a decent other money line. So I went over to the MLB. I dug into the charts, analytics, numbers, statistics, long-term trends, everything you can find in baseball. And I chose the best pitching matchups I can find. The Guardians stuck out the most. Tristan McKenzie had good numbers coming off some great starts, looking like he was totally getting it together. The Guardians off back-to-back losses to a terrible White Sox team who decided to start Clevenger, who's just been absolutely shelled multiple times this year. The projection was like a 6-2 comfortable Guardians win, and they just I don't know, no bet list banned, completely gone. You're dead to me. Never again. That's the last dollar I lose on the Guardians. Offense, absolutely horrific. A single run against Clevenger, so that's 3 units right there. Also went with the Mariners, found a huge advantage with Miller getting the start for Seattle, a night game for Seattle at home. Went with the first 5 innings money line over there. Huge advantage in pitching once again. Actually, such a big advantage in pitching that we chose just the first 5 innings. Didn't even want to let it get to bullpen. Also paired that with the Celtics. Well, the Celtics took care of business, and it was that easy. Should have just ran with it. It was a simple day. NBA favorites, both of them get the job done. It was as simple as just laying the spread, a unit apiece, first half, full game, whatever you want to do. Got too cute. Got too cute today, And it costs you sometimes. I didn't want to lay 8 points on the road with Boston, even though I thought it was the right side. Their mentality, their ability for pressure to kind of crack down on them at times, it just scared me. And I thought the money line being an absolute lock coming off that loss, I figured if we could just find some good baseball angles to pair with it, that those parlays were going to smack, and they didn't. And this is sports betting. Nothing's a guarantee. It's the angle I chose for the day. We had some straight bets. We actually started off the day with a win with the Tampa Bay Rays at plus money before the odds changed. So we cashed that, and that's about it. It was a rough day. We lost some money. Again, updated numbers, bottom of the screen, showing you guys the text, showing you guys everything. It is what it is. And what's funny is this just happens every time. In fact, I don't have it right here. The same thing happened in April. It was the second week of the month. I had a 4-day losing streak, lost a whole bunch of money, still ended up way into profit for the month. But it just always happens. They're always in the mix. 2, 3, 4-day losing streak. You always go cold. I go hot. I go hot a lot. You guys see my channel. You've been with it for a while. Despite a horrific week. And by horrific, I mean by my standards. I mean, I win most of the time. Some people, it is what it is. I mean, this is what some people do like all the fucking time, and they're addicted to gambling and losing their money, and they lose their life. But guys, even with these horrible, horrendous picks, look at the records on the bottom of the screen. That is with everything updated still pretty good. So with that being said, another text that, I was really happy to see today from one of the clients, someone who actually sticks with the program. Okay. And it just happens all the time. People hop on short term, hop off short term, hop on short term, hop off short term. It doesn't work. You have to stick with the program long term. You have to have an ability to go through the lows and the highs and long term stack your money. If you're looking to just grab a week of my picks and that's it, you're hoping that this week Dan's rants is absolutely on like he normally is. I'm going to make a bunch of money. I'm going to get rich quick and I'm going to pay my whole rent with a week of his picks for $30. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. I mean, it does 3 out of 4 weeks, but just based on how everything goes in this game, it just always pans out. The people that stick with the program and week after week after week, they just trust the process, keep betting the same unit size, manage their bankroll. That is truly how you win, because let's think about it. I've lost enough in the past few days to where if you were chasing your losses and if you were doubling, tripling your wagers, desperate to get your money back because you're broke and you don't have a lot of money and you're betting above your means and your unit size isn't correct, you're going to run the well dry. You guys have got to stick to the script. You got to be able to survive a couple of little cold stretches in the mix. And hey, when we get on track, we get on track. And that's exactly what we're about to do. A betting cleanse. I'm looking at about a 3 or a 4 day betting cleanse on the way starting today. What is a betting cleanse? Does this mean I just don't give out picks and we just take some time off? Hell no. Hell no. We're going to get after it, but there won't be a single pick above 1 unit. And there won't be a single parlay, even two game money line parlays in the mix. It'll be straight bets and it'll be low volume, 3 to 5 single bets every single day, a unit a piece. We're going to do things the right way just to get back on track. Once we get the money flowing, we feel good. We're locked back in. All the bullshit subsided. Maybe we can start mixing in some interesting creative plays again. They cash for a while. Sometimes you go on a cold streak. Things just don't go your way. You miss by a bucket here, 1 point here, half point here. This costs you, that costs you. You can't believe this happened. I can't believe that happened. That's sports betting. I know sometimes it feels like the world is against you, and that's what we're doing right now. And take this as a little bit of a learning lesson for someone who's been through it and been in the industry and been a professional for many years. You guys cannot keep increasing your volume. I know when you lose a bunch of money, what you want to do is bet bigger, right? You're like, okay, well, screw it, man. I've had a tough couple of days, but I really like this play tomorrow. If I bet that much on it and this bet, I just need this one bet to hit, I'll break even from all these last couple of days. Then I can go back to normal. I just need this one big hit just to get rid of those losses. That type of strategy will sink your boat. I can guarantee it. Do not do that. In fact, when you're losing, you need to lower your volume. When things can't go right, when you're missing by this much and that much and this much and everything doesn't go right for you, lower your volume. Bet even less. When you're hot, that's actually the time to go a little bit heavier. So just take that into consideration. Hopefully you guys appreciate the rant today. I don't rant to be a internet douchebag or something. I try to educate you guys and show you the right way to do things. I pay my bills this way, okay? And I've been through it. And, you know, I spend a few minutes here talking, recording for you guys, and a few hours editing and uploading for you guys to hopefully maybe gain, you know, some of you on my team, but hopefully to at least educate you guys so you don't lose your life, because things can snowball rather quickly. Let's get into today's games. Links for everything in the description if you have an interest. If you want to hop on premium, it's completely up to you. I know after a few frustrating days and things not looking great, it doesn't seem like the most attractive option. But like I said, the people who do this long term, they win on my team every time. And if you're joining on a losing streak, it's like buying gold at a cheap price. It's like buying Bitcoin at a cheap price. You can't buy things at the top. Gold soars to $2,200. Why would you buy it then? You know, Bitcoin soars to $80,000 per coin. Why would you buy it then? But if Bitcoin was down at 30K, that would have been a great buy. Right now, I'm on a losing streak. Probably a great time to just maybe buy a week, buy a full month, and stick to the script for that entire duration. Put some money in your pocket. Game 1, Sunday, Knicks 5.5, Pacers, a total of 217.5. And I am done with the bullshit. Like I said in today's video, I'm done getting cute. I'm done with overthinking. We're at the point now where, you know, public money or, you know, this could possibly be rigged or there's some influence. No, I think all that stuff's out of the way. You know, the Nuggets got that win. That was a series that maybe had some foul play on the way. All that type of thing is is in the past, in my opinion. And I'm not gonna overthink this. The Knicks are a public side. Let's bring up the money splits. Let's see how bad it is. How bad is it? It's got to be. I bet the whole world's on New York here. 5.5. Now it has moved down, so the books are reflecting the money coming in, but it is interesting. NBA, what do we got here? May 12th, New York and the Pacers. We're looking at 71.3% of bets made against the spread on the New York Knicks, only about half the money. Sharps are on Indiana. It's undeniable. It's not a lot of sharp money. But the Knicks are a public play. They're a public underdog. I've said this before. I've said this many times. Many fucking times I've said this, and I'm going to repeat myself today. Being on a big publicly bet side when it's a favorite and the line correlated is moving in that direction, that's totally fine. That's okay. No red flag, no alarm bells. Don't worry about it. If you're like, man, I don't know, everyone's on this team, but like, I don't know, they're like a big favorite. Okay, the Celtics just kicked the crap out of the Cavs. That was an example. Here, a public underdog, road environment. I think we might be reaching the point to where the Knicks finally really start showing signs of the lack of depth in their roster and the injuries and just it's got to be hard to sustain the same amount of energy here. And I do think the big Nemard 3, the big clutch win by the Pacers in that last game, although they looked really, really bad in that third quarter, I think just simply getting that win in the books actually builds confidence. I think the Pacers play a little bit looser here, knowing they're not up against the wall. It is a must win for them. You can't go back to New York down 3-1. But I think they play loose here, 5.5. That's fine by me. And you know what? You can wait on this bet. You do not have to bet this bet right now because the Knicks are a public play. So maybe it gets down to 5. Maybe if enough people come on board here for the New York side, we might see a 4.5. I'm on the Pacers here. I'm not going to overthink things. They should have won both of the first 2 games. I've talked about the refs in those first 2 matchups. There were some really questionable things that happened at the end of those games. I do think the Pacers at least should have won one of them. And now they're at home. They're at home. I think the depth of the roster on both of these teams is so different, and it's got to start showing up at the back end of the series when more and more and more hours are logged. I think the Pacers gain confidence from that win. I think they take care of business. I'll lay the points with the Pacers. I'm not overthinking it. It's a home desperation spot with a reasonable number against a team that you should have beat twice on the road. In terms of the total, I'm going to go over. I don't know. It basically seems like it seems like asking a lot to slow down Brunson and DiVincenzo at this point in time. So I do think the Knicks still are going to score. But I really think the Pacers are going to score in this game. I don't think they're going to have too much issue here. So I'm going to slightly lean over that total. 217, it's up there pretty good, especially if we only get like 105 or something out of the Knicks, a little over 100 from them, then it's going to be a little bit harder to get over this total, perhaps. But I'm still going to lean over the total in this game, and I'm going to lean Pacers to cover the spread. Game number 2, we got the Nuggets and the T-Wolves, a 2.5-point spread, a total of 204. This game is going to be nasty. It's going to this is going to be a dogfight. The Nuggets got their win, so the NBA is not concerned about this or that or whatever. We're going to, at the bare minimum, go 6 games in this series because the Nuggets are not losing the next game at home. So even if they drop this one, they'll go home 3-1. They'll get a win. They'll come back to Minnesota in a 3-2 series. That's like worst case scenario for the Nuggets. The line looks short. It looks short to me. And I've said it in a lot of these videos where more often than not always, but more often than not, choose a favorite, choose a dog. You can't be on the same side. If you're going to go both dogs, go on the money line. So at least one is in the plus money. If you're going to go both favorites, like good luck. Today it worked out with the Celtics and the Mavericks. Doesn't happen often. I'm going to zig and zag here. I like the Pacers as my favorite with the Knicks being a public underdog. And I like the Nuggets here. I think everybody expects the Timberwolves to just snap right back to the first 2 games and beat the crap out of the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets to win the entire NBA championship is still a value play. I think it's open, and if the Nuggets win this particular game, they're gonna win the series. I think the Nuggets know that. I think they're going to be focused, and I expect a low-scoring, close game. As long as it's close, it's up for grabs. We're going to have clutch, Murray at the end of the game. We're going to have Ant-Man at the end of the game. I'm going to lean under the total because this is such a high-pressured defensive game. Pacers have us, or not the Pacers. Nuggets have a slow pace. I expect the Nuggets to slow things down. I expect the defensive intensity of Minnesota to return closer to the first couple of games. Low scoring, close dogfight. Somebody's going to squeak off the win. Is it Jamal Murray again? Michael Porter Jr. with a pull-up? Joker with something? I don't know. I'm going to take the points with the Nugget. I mean, this game should be that close. I want the points, every point I could possibly get. I might even look to try to buy half of a point and try to get maybe the Nuggets +3, depending on your sports book and the odds. I'd play a +3 up to maybe like a -135 or something. Let me look at the money splits for this game. I would expect people to be on Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota is huge. A lot of money and a lot of sharp money. So I talk about sharp money and public money all the time. Huge, sharp money on Minnesota. 46.2% of tickets, less than half of the tickets against the spread are on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Almost 80% of the money as I record this video around midnight Eastern time. The sharps are on Minnesota, huge here. And you know what? I'm gonna have to do a deeper dive based on premium to actually think about what I'm gonna go with in this game. A lot of money on the over. Everybody seems to be on the over. I know it's a low number. I'm not gonna change my opinion here. The sharp money is definitely interesting. It might be enough just to keep me off the game total, but for my free opinion, for my free play or whatever, my YouTube video every single day where I give you guys at least what I think, I still got to go with the Nuggets. It's the money splits really disagree with me here. And more often than not, they're correct. I'm just not going to pass up getting points with the Nuggets. I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. I won't do it. Bounce back spot for the Timberwolves at home. I mean, they basically know they have to have the game. You cannot give up both home games and basically erase all the progress you made from the first two games. The Timberwolves, I assume, know that if they blow this game, they blew it. They blew everything. They're going to lose the series if they lose this particular game because it's going to go back to Denver. Denver's going to win. Comes back to Minnesota. Even if Minnesota wins that game, it goes back to Denver for game 7, and the Nuggets will get the job done. Nuggets will not lose another game at home. So this is a desperation spot for the Wolves, man. It is a desperation for the Wolves. Sharp money's on the Wolves. Maybe that is the right side. And maybe after tonight where I dig into the spreadsheets and projections and things, maybe if I dig a little deeper, my opinion will change. For now, for the videos, I'm recording it just to kind of give you, what I'm thinking off the top. I'm going to lean taking as many points as I can with the Nuggets. I'm going to lean under the total. Find it hard to believe that these teams are going to be moving too fast. And I think the refs are going to let them play. They had a quick whistle in that last game. I do think the NBA had a part in that. The NBA literally probably told the refs, have a tight whistle on Minnesota. Don't let them bully the Nuggets. We got to extend the series and max out ad revenue and all that crap. This game's going to be clean as a whistle. This is anything goes. This is not rigged. This is going to be a fair and square game. With it's going to be physical. It's going to be everything. It's going to be awesome to watch. So enjoy the game more than everything. If you're going to bet this one, bet small. But that's the way I lean for that game. Despite a couple of hard days, guys, I feel great. I've been watching a lot of NBA every single game, sometimes watching it twice. I'm not going to let a few days get me flustered. I come on here all the time, show you my bad streaks, show you my good. And the good is always more than the bad. You can look back a month, you can look back 3, you can look back half a year, you can look back to the start of football season. I am in the profit every single time frame you want to look at, just not over the past couple of days. So is what it is. Links for everything in the description, guys. Drop a like on today's video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thinking on these 2 games down in the comments below. Let's update that whiteboard and get you guys hopefully to 13-8 with today's pick. Let me just double check the odds here and make sure I'm putting the right thing on the board, at least for now. I'm going to rock with the Pacers. Indiana Pacers, first quarter. I do believe the momentum from that win carries over. Maybe the Knicks settle in a little bit. Maybe it's competitive at halftime. I'll have to look into the numbers more. But first quarter at home, a must-win game. Momentum from the last win. The Knicks still struggling with depth of their roster. I do expect Indiana Pacers to win this quarter. The New York Knicks also struggled in that first quarter quite frequently with the Philadelphia 76ers. Something to think about. So we're going to rock with the Pacers for the first quarter, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.